Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. So I have to apologize. I changed the room up, and you're going to get a lot of reflection off of that back wall. So I'm going to try to speak really close, and hopefully that'll reduce that a little bit, but I need to get like a bookcase is what I'm planning on putting over there. So anyways, let's look here. I'm a little behind today. Yeah, let's not pull that one over. I want this right here. Oh, it's like 1 pixel off. Okay, whatever. Okay, so here, it still seems like we're losing trend for some reason. I think really it's more that the trend is flipping around and going down. So with this, maybe this will start turning around. But E-mini looks like they were maybe done from that selling last week. We're opening up higher. ZV kind of came up to the top there and didn't go very far. Same here. So I think they might want to test this a little bit more. Like a 26.5 would make me feel a little bit more comfortable, but really any kind of move up, I think, after what happened on Friday is an opportunity to short. So now there was some decent accumulation down here, and we're moving higher. So I think on the open we might get some buying. I see an iceberg at 20.5. Might take that one. And so yeah, that's basically my plan. I don't want to if I do take long, I'm not going to be like pushing it, because we do got to be careful. And then forex or news. Oh yeah, and we do have FOMC member Bostic is speaking at some time today. Well, I think I want to wait and see how that one resolves. Okay, so let's go pull up the links and finish eating here. Okay, well, continues to be interesting here. I mean, we've had a pretty good delta selling, and we've ticked up, and we just had another attempt to try and clear 21. And they're just not getting anywhere at all. You notice the big orders are almost all buying. Actually, I take that back. Those are sells. That's a buy and that's a buy now. See, big attempt to sell it through, and nothing. They stuck a bunch on there at 21. In fact, let's point it like that. That'll probably be a little bit better. Yeah, I bought it. So the thing is now there's the 20. There's a kind of a step at 22. Kind of. I mean, we did stop there earlier. Okay, so I would say we have to say there's a step at 22, and then there's the high of the day. So I don't think that messing with it here really makes sense for me. Buying, if I could have bought it at 20.5, that might have worked. But if I had bought it at 20.5, I would have to be considering the possibility of getting out at 22, right? But if I fade it, they could very easily bust through me. So I have to wait for something a little bit more significant. But we're not actually seeing the buying coming out yet. Only in the 30-year. Probably, so there should be some spreading going on here too. Probably some flatteners. Oh, I'm gonna need to watch that. Anthony Crudelli interviewed Jim Dalton. So that's good stuff. And then forgot to say hi to you guys in YouTube. So Lucas, if you're having problems with CQG, there was a patch out for Jigsaw. I don't know if there's one for NinjaTrader 8. Oh yeah, Uzi's already saying that. Yep, CQG changed some things. That's kind of weird, right? You would think that they would give us better warning than that. It's kind of funny that these buys that we're having right here are still only just kind of a little bump compared to the selling that we had before. I would really want to see this volume equalize before I would want to yeah, they did it over the weekend. Now it seems pretty light here, and we've got it's pretty quiet in Discord, but we actually do have a lot of people watching today, so that's kind of interesting. This kind of looks like Monday action to me, though. You know, like normally I would have just FOMO'd right into 20.5. Naive me would have just FOMO'd into 20.5 and be long and be thinking this is great. We just gotta wait and it'll go through, and then it like never goes through, or something happens. Something happens and it flips around so quick that I don't get out. So I'm not, the thing that concerns me is that the big orders don't really seem to be pushing as much as would normally you would see in a move up like this. They did take 21. They didn't take 21.5. And you hadn't seen them in the 5 years since 31.5. And it was kind of mixed here too. Okay, well, now a bunch absorbed at 21.5, so this might continue to just bubble up. And this is again where it'd be like 22. If you want to go long here, 21.5, but then you got 22 to deal with. And we could easily drop back here. Whoever was holding it liquidated both positions on Friday. Did some rough math, then figured that depending on whenever they got in, it was likely a $150,000 day for them. Wow. On spreads, that's pretty dang good, huh? I guess one thing that looks good is that it seems that the politics have calmed down a little bit this week. Okay, now they're hitting 22. There was a decent amount absorbed there. They held it though. Oh, there you go. It was a little tough to take a fade there though. Well, ZB is definitely buying. That last move up did generate some volume, but it's still not above where we were when this started. So the move up still appears to me to be a little suspect. In fact, that buy may have been too much. Like, I'm really tempted to take a trade. Like I really kind of want a short 22 for some reason. And given that it's a Monday, and that the opening drive has been pretty weak, like 5 ticks up, we're already getting an imbalance, and it's saying that it may be done. Like this long here, maybe getting out here at 22. So I'm really tempted to make a trade, but like I said, your risk could be all the way up to 23.5, and your reward, I mean, I don't know. I guess we could get back to 19.5, but that would be a target. But overall, I don't think it's a good location for us small guys. I'm sure somebody's going to take a short there at 22 and make a ton of money off of it and prove me wrong, though. It seems like a lot of these ones where I've kind of had an instinctual feeling that we were going to turn around here, and I don't take them, are the ones that go, so. Yeah, I don't have the same deltas set up for ZF, but I definitely see a similar thing going on over there. So Lucas was asking what my bias was today, and I think one of the things is that it's a Monday, and I seem to have problems on Mondays, and those do tend to be a little bit more range bound. So that's kind of my main bias, is to be range bound. That's why I'm much more considering this short at 22 than I was this long at 20.5. But like on the volume profile, I'm looking at it from the perspective of like, here's single prints. They like to go back and test the single prints. So and not only that, but this 24.5 was pretty significant level for a long time. So I think that there's a good chance that we move back up to it. Okay. But the overall this thing right here is a big sell signal, right? Like, you can't ignore that. I think that based off of that, there's a really good chance now that Treasuries go down for lows of the year. Could very easily go down and do that. So that's why I'm kind of like, well, they're doing the right thing. They're buying it, but there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to fade it for every move up. Even if it gets up to 26.5, there's going to be a lot of people fading it, because all of the all the long-term players want to be short. So yeah. And then just back to what I was saying earlier, there's a step in the profile at 22. So even though we broke it just a little bit, we're still having trouble getting over 22. And then beyond 22, you've got a bunch of orders at 23.5. It's really the only outsized order that you have on the 10-year. And so if you go long here at 22, you can maybe get 3, but then you're also risking 3. So the risk reward doesn't really make sense in here, I don't think. My guess is if the buying can't push the market higher during a sustained period of time, then it might tank. Yeah, exactly. Well, given that it's been so slow on this opening drive, that usually means that we kind of sit here for a while and then do something when the E-mini starts, right? So we might be twiddling our thumbs for a little while. I might. I don't know what you're gonna do, but Uzi says his reference point is 142.20. Yeah, I'm gonna bet that that would be John's bias too. Looking here in ZB, it opened at the low. So we would have to put the midpoint, right there at the VWAP. But we're still like right on the edge of the bull bear zone, so it's not like a thing yet. You see this, how we still haven't equalized in volume. I need to shave. I'm gonna like just pick at it until it drives me crazy. I just need to not. And then you like mess with the hairs, right? You need to just hands off. I mean, it looks like they're gonna sell it through there. Okay. But only $750 on the offer. Okay. So this kind of becomes my reference point. Oh, you know, another thing that we should point out was 20.5 was where they took their big trade-off, right? There was a big 20K. Okay, they did sell it.
I think a cable move now is after comments from EU's Barnier. Getting a Brexit deal is realistic. 16. Again, we're seeing cable moving higher to 130.10 mark. Comments from EU's Barnier. Getting a Brexit deal is realistic. 8 weeks.
They really plowed through some big bids there, and we're getting big offers on the other side. So I'm thinking that the downside could be worth taking now. Gotta be careful about that. That looks kind of like a lure to me. Yeah, I do like taking trades at the VWAP, but it is like, you know, 3 or 4 ticks up there. this one or this one is where we would rather be. But seeing as that with that right there being the only thing really to stop us from going lower, and all of the volume short, because now you've got quite a bit of longs. You got about 12,000 longs here now through all of that, right? I don't think that a lot of them got out. Okay, so that is exactly the way that I wanted that to go. Okay. Okay, well, 4,020 is not what I want to see. It does pull away, though. Oh, they sold it. That's what happened. Okay, so a little bit much absorbing. It sure does seem to be a lot of sell pressure, though. So there's you see the 5-year and the 30-year at 16. Okay. I'm probably going to regret taking it off there, but I thought that that was a bit much. Look at what's going on in the 5-year, though.
Energy ministers to be meeting Novak to US Energy Secretary Perry on Thursday.
That just seems a little too easy, doesn't it? I don't think they're done yet, though. Ugh. The level 2 is definitely doing this pulley thingy, you know, that they're just gonna pull them.
Barney, the Brexit deal, realistic 60. Barney is currently speaking at the Strategic Forum. I posted a link.
I'm flipping the 5-year, flipping the 30-year.
From UK News here, a think tank forecasting GDP growth of 0.6% in the third quarter.
Look at this in the 5-year.
Block by.
Aha. Interesting that we didn't get past the overnight point of control. And those last few, they did pull. It doesn't feel too hot in here, but I'm like sweating. I think that one tick made me a little nervous. I'm pretty happy with streaming on YouTube. Yeah, you're welcome, YouTube. I'm unhappy with many other things about you, but the streaming does work well. Hmm. So that bid at 200 is very convincing, right? We ticked up and now there's 5K on the bid. That's pretty good. This offer at 20 is not pulling away. So we're still kind of in this situation where it's like it looks like it looks like they pivoted there, and it looks like we could move up, but are they really going to get that far? I don't want to mess with that block order though. Like when they get a block buy like that at 20, that's usually the signal to be just off, hands off, right? And we did, even though we could have gotten another tick out of that we did do the right thing there by just taking a tick. So we would be hoping right now, wouldn't we? I wonder, did Alligator get out or did he? I think that bid is actually getting a little bit stronger.
Comment from you. Lightizer had constructive meeting with.
Okay. So we're at this location at 18. We had a little bit of messing around here. They ticked 18, but they didn't tick through it. So we might have just gotten a bit of a pullback. We could still go lower. Definitely if, you know what, I wanted to check something. If I do this and I look at like the shortcut keys. They don't have one.
Comment from use Barney a close agreement on the EU dice.
No stop limit button. I was just thinking if there's any pull in here. I think I will put it in. I see that. So they did sell into it. Not enough to trigger us. Okay. Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. Get 2,500 stacked on.
Fixed income news now from UK. They're in the lead for 3 years. Still recovered.
Okay. Well, you never want to see it go bid again, but that wasn't necessarily a huge.
Some US equity news now. It's Wells Fargo has raised the price target of Amazon to $2,300 from a prior of $2,110.
Didn't like that tick up in the 30. But I don't want to see pulling at 18. How's this that the bid is increased? That am I getting like something wrong on my chart here? Doesn't seem right. How is the offer still stronger? That is correct. I guess it was just the addition of this right here. Mm-hmm. Okay, well now 10 minutes ahead of equities open. I don't think we'll want to mess with it.
More comments from a note number one exit.
See, that's just bizarre right there. They didn't take that. Now I should turn on my pen. Something like here. Oh, that was the eraser. Highlighter. There we go. Through here. Right there, the VWAP. Not putting up very much. Man, like 20 half too much. I mean, the thing is we got all this in the 5-year. But I mean, is 3,000 really like a huge deal? They're not able to get past the 13 half either. I thought that was interesting. So what do we know? Well, we got this pivot and we got this pivot right here. And we kind of got through this whole area right here is thick. So I'm thinking that So long as we are in here, I don't want to mess with it. That's interesting that Uzi wanted to go long down there. It is rangy. I mean, I think fading is the right thing. But I think I would rather be fading short, you know? Like, I would rather see it come up to like 21 and stop there. Or 20, maybe tick into 21.5 and not be able to make any headway at all. You know, that would be a much better risk reward trade. Now, if we tick up, well, yeah, if we tick up, that would be like a higher low. Just holding out. I feel like the mini is starting out a little bit high. It would be better if it was back at 2880. I was about to think maybe they're doing the bubble up thing again, but they pushed through it. It wasn't too much. Put a lot on the offer that time.
Block sell.
Okay. I'm not liking how this is going so far already. They block sold. It looked weak. I sold into it. Okay. That's more like what I wanted to see. Let's clear this screen. So I know I said I didn't want to do anything in here, but if I have a big order to lean on. See, of course they can't move down because I'm short. Let's come back up to 21. Stop Seth out. And then we'll sell. Really? Mm-hmm. far while complaining about TweetDeck for some reason. Hmm. GS looks short. It's not like following through yet, but it looks like they're selling it since the open. Even on this up move, it wasn't very much, right? We get sandwiched, yeah. Problem here is that whenever you rely on the E-mini for a move in bonds, you usually don't get paid in the bonds, you get paid in the E-mini. punch absorbed there in the E-mini. They went through and we got a pretty good tick up when that happened.
So Barney, UK and Europe have a common interest.
Yeah, okay. Hmm.
That's Michel Barnier's now wrapped up his speech. Well, his interview.
Not good. Tony, this is where you'd go short.
About 3 minutes time, we'll have the ESB buyback at numbers for the week.
Hmm.
Numbers from last week then. ECB bought a net 4.447 billion euros of assets in public sector purchase programme in the week to August 31st last week. That was down slightly from 4.693 billion prior week.
Hmm. Okay. Well, what we're getting is definitely the E-mini jerking us around, isn't it? Some better selling that time. I mean, we're gonna make a new low in cumulative delta here probably, but it's still just not going. Come on. Okay, there was a bit of a battle there, but they're lower. Is these guys gonna puke now down here?
So ECB in the bought a net 8.181 billion euros of assets in a public sector purchase program in the week to September 7th versus 4.447 billion. There was a buy of a net 48 million euros of assets in asset-backed securities, a net buy of 848 million of corporate bonds, and a net 459 million rather assets in covered bond purchase program. But just a large buy for the asset purchase program, 8.181 billion.
Okay, that was good. If they can hold it, come on. Well, watching the E-mini here has got to be just about the most frustrating thing ever.
That's the largest set of buys we've seen for that PSPP in some, I think, weeks. That's 7 to 8 weeks worth of buys.
Good deal. Okay, so now we're getting some big absorption down in here. I think I read that right.
we heard from Barnier, so really much of more bets and no deal on Brexit is i.e. maybe delaying the Brexit end date, I guess, is what they say. Option grounds, but as I said, heard from Barnier, table lift.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I did pretty good on the E-mini trade, because even though I was wrong, ultimately I was wrong, because it busted out the upside, not the downside. I could see that people were absorbing it there, and I just said, okay, fine, and just take this and get out. So now the E-mini's coming back a little bit. I think that you should get another buy-in here. If I see a biggie in here, he should be down in here. He's not going to be. He's going to be before that, probably. Nope. I don't see him yet. Notice how the mini's selling. So the ES, so the Treasuries did buy up, but it wasn't. They're barely even able to hold it. Okay, here he is. Are they going to do it again? No, it's not there. That's really curious. So they're doing it here a little bit, but sellers are also trying to push. Okay, that was weird. And nobody's ticked into 21.5 there. That's interesting as well. Okay, let's see if they step in now. No. Good. Good. Okay. Jeez. Okay, so like that's the last thing you want to see? Nope, that's bad. How was that one less than when I made money on the E-mini, huh? Well, we might bust out to the upside here in bonds now.
It's from Russia's Novak that says an agreement OPEC Plus in that September meeting at August and July 11th. Met at all. Deals were implemented at the same levels in.
Okay, what's with this bubble right here? Okay. Okay, see now that one was a little bit more.
Just up his perhaps the best in our country's history.
Is that what he said? Let's see here. The economy is so good, perhaps the best in our country's history. Remember, it's the economy, stupid, that the Democrats are flailing and lying like crazy. Phony books, articles, and TV hits like no other poll has had to endure, and they are losing big, very dishonest people. Okay. Well, and as he says that, the E-mini has ticked down a little bit. Donald Trump says the economy is great. We can't have that. We have to sell this. You notice the cumulative delta continues to be long, but prices actually moved down to a new low. So this is where the cumulative delta in the E-mini I have found is unreliable.
Brexit summit for November.
Suck.
On the EU leaders set to announce Brexit summit.
So I've seen that one before. Well, that would have worked if I'd gotten filled, so.
Discussions on the state of play and the talks will take place over a 2-hour lunch as an informal summit in and apparently I'd like to instruct the EU's chief negotiator to work with the best to Theresa May's and Chequers proposals. Apparently the EU 27 will insist there needs to be resolution of the hard border on the island by the time of the leaders summit in October, if possible. Equities here, they're just back in their recent gains here. Still up to $7 and highs.
This is kind of back to, you get some initiation at 22. they're likely to push through it. The E-mini still kind of looks like a buy to me, to be honest. It's just, I don't see him stepping up. There's a potential spot right there. Now 79,000, huh? Well, if it continues to do what it's been doing today, it'll stop there at 22.5, but it seems like that's an awful lot of orders short all day, and we're going to go bust highs. There we go, long through there. It's also buy. Wait, how is that? Let's see. Really, we're down 3 ticks. See it building as they hit it. And I think buyers look a little overconfident here. So the problem that I see is that the E-mini could easily go down could easily stop here. They did make a new low in cumulative delta finally, but it's still not like, you know, you're in a spot where there's some significant support in the E-mini. Notice how it gets down here and it's slow. So like it's kind of against the trend, but the E-mini is not a for sure thing right now, and the treasuries are acting like it is. What happens if buyers step in here in the E-mini? They're going to sell through that iceberg, and then you're going to have all these people that are screwed. Okay. Well, just in case.
Seeing pressure on the you got again, some of the tech stocks just sluggish at really comparison. Higher on the day is pulled back.
And it continues to be that the bid absorbs and the offer pulls. Pretty consistent through this whole thing, you can see. No one ever went broke taking profits. Oh, Lucas did catch 21.5. Well, that's good. Just talk about a bubble up move. Like it's still absorbing there at 22.5. No, I took a bunch of like scratches in there. I think I'm going crazy, to be honest. And some of them were sells, which I don't know what I don't know. I mean, all the way through this, like at 21.5, I saw it and I said, okay, that's a buy, but I didn't get filled. And then they absorbed, so I was like, well, I don't think I want to buy into 22. And then now they're absorbing again, and I don't want to buy into 23. So it's like, what if they actually break it finally? Yeah, exactly. And your risk reward long here, especially at 22.5, does not necessarily make sense. So that's why I've got this thing set up, because I just barely didn't get filled at 21.5. If they tick down and we get some pulling here at 22, then I think there's a good chance I could get filled at 21.5 right there on the edge.
Now losing 1.9%.
Okay, well they finally sold through something. So that's the first time that they've actually sold through the bid since basically 21. Okay, so it hit me. The menu's recovering. I think that's a good potential buy there. Okay. Now, come on, stack that offer, please. Okay. So I'm wondering what's going to happen here in the menu, because we've been moving down in price for quite some time, right? And we never really got a ton of selling, the cumulative delta wise, and now we got a pretty good buy there, cumulative delta wise. You got to think that the shorts are probably taking their profits right now. What does it take to get filled here, man? Come on. Sell it. Do it. Tyler's like, no, we can't let Seth have a tick. Absolutely not. We have to push it back to 23 first. Then we can go down. Come on, man. Just let me have this one. You can let me have one tick, right? The funny thing is I got filled on a sweep. Good grief. That was freaking retarded, right? No tick for you. So I have the crocodile in there for how long, you know? It was a while. I don't know how long it was. And I got filled on a sweep, so like it didn't even matter. Fetch. Well, now Tyler, or you know, the market, whoever it is that hates me so much. Now the thing that you could do to screw me over the most is to just keep going and make me feel like I should have held it, right? That's the right thing, right? So, oh, you took, well, if you got a profit, then we got to make sure that you took your profit way too early. Like, we should sell this down to 18.5, then you really feel stupid. I don't know, I'm just noticing, have you noticed that here in the 5-year, that whichever side of this area that they're trading on, they stack behind it? So it's like, I've never seen that before. I mean, I've seen, so if we go back here a little bit. Okay, this thing right here, see this? Okay, there's buying, couldn't get through it, and then they stack behind it, okay? That to me was like normal action, okay? But then this is where it starts to get weird, right? Because then they start moving up again. Up. And now you can see they're doing it again. As we move down, they're stacking behind us again. So, very odd action. We're not going to get a waddle this week. Is that what the deal here is? Let's see, is he on Twitter? Yeah, I don't see him. Apple continues to slide on tariff fears. Hurricane Florence nightmare scenario could be worse than natural disaster for Carolinas and Virginia. Okay, they hit the Carolinas by Thursday. Oh yeah, the model looks like it's going to hit the Carolinas. So there's not even none of the outliers. Here, I'll show you. I love to watch this hurricane stuff, actually. I find these models really interesting. So like normally you'll get one that's like this. Wait. I need to use my pen, right? So normally, we'll make it like super tiny. So normally you'd have one that looks like this, right? And maybe one that looks like this. But you're not getting any of those. It's like they're all going right here. Yeah, I would be concerned if I live in Carolinas. It's all about creating an illusion to get participants to do what they want. Yep. You know, I've realized from watching this how, like, so here's the thing. let's just say, for the sake of argument, man, it's kind of hard to do it on today's action, but let's just say, for the sake of argument, that starting out here at 7 o'clock, when it was at 19.5, that we knew, mostly because we knew that we were going to buy it, but we knew that it wasn't going to go any lower than 19.5, and we buy it, okay? Then at that point, what is all this other stuff, right? You just mess with them at that point. You just say, okay, let's make them look like it's going to go a little bit lower, and then we'll absorb some when they finally go for it, and then push it out higher, and then mess with them until they think that maybe that move is done and go lower, you know? And if they realized that it is going higher, then we just pull a couple of orders so that, you know, like right here, pull a couple of orders so that it jumps up, and then let it come back 2 ticks and absorb there. So it's like, no matter what the market does, because you have the money, you can just make it do what you want. And the people on the other side who don't actually know which way it's going to go, you can't actually predict which one it's going to do, because there's 2 things that I can do, and both of those things can lead me higher, help me get long to lead me higher. But from the liquidity provider's perspective, he can't actually tell what that big guy is going to do. So it's literally like the big guy screws you over almost every time. The only time, that's why though, I think, personally, is like this game right here. Okay, so we did okay. I mean, these were bad. Obviously, I shouldn't have taken 2 of those. Okay. And I do need to make a little bit back in the evening, in fact. I think this is coming back to where I want it. So let's pay attention here for a second. Oh, I want a bubble. If I get a bubble, I want to go along there. Anyways, I feel like when it's range bound, that you know, the chances of you getting filled and stuff like that, I think a lot of it is a crapshoot. And even though you can make money, you're only making like 2 ticks or whatever, and when you factor in the commissions and everything, it's just not as worth playing on the range, even though I know some guys that seem to be pretty good at it. Though I'd be interested to see how a guy like Keith did today. I think that he would probably still do well, but I want to know what his win rate was in this time period. But you compare this to a day like Friday, right? A day where big market movers are coming in and they need to do something, so they're all getting short, and it just goes and goes and goes and goes, and then it's like they're at the disadvantage because they're chasing it, and because you can get in faster, you can mark it in at any price and have your whole position and you're fine. Whereas them, it's like, you know, every second that goes by is bad for them, because that's a potential, you know, short position that they don't have filled yet. And that's why I think that it's generally better to go for the trend as a small guy. Doesn't mean you can't make money the other way. It seems like it's a rougher game for you. Even some of these guys. So did Uzi get his tick? I think it sounded like maybe he did. Friday was a dream. You only had to jump on as she goes to make money. I don't know, right? And I totally screwed it up too. That's the thing that Friday was. Anyways, I don't want to think about it. It's a new week. You know, that's the thing that kind of frustrates me too, is you have a big trend day like that, and then the Monday comes along, and what do? They're super range bound. And that's not the first time I've seen that. So I jump on a trend if there was one. Yeah, that's funny. So did you take a tick, Uzi? You've taken a trade? He was talking about buying, and we did get a buy. I don't know. Well, the E-mini moved up, but it never gave me my bubble. And now it's kind of stopping right where the last bubble was. So she's not cooperating. No trade at all yet. Wow, okay. Anyways, I have, and I did it here today too, like if we review here, my trades, my losers, where were they? At 20, at 718 and 731. Okay, so for starters, I was doing exactly what I said I wasn't going to do. Oh, come on. Stop that. There we go. And I took some around the news. And for some reason, so I took a long here. Sorry, I took a short here, and I took a short here.
Credit quality from rising corporate debt, vulnerability is limited, and that most sovereigns globally face a limited threat from debt vulnerability to higher interest rates.
And in this one, I thought we came back from the VWAP, and then they would go back down again. That's why when it did this, I was like, okay. Now I definitely shorted, but it screwed me over twice.
Is in general limited by economic, fiscal, capital, and external markets.
But the thing where it screws me over is like, what's the range? Well, it's from 20 to 21.5, and I'm selling the bottom of the range. That's not good risk reward. Really anywhere up in there is bad risk. Now the 22, the short at 22 was correct. Risk reward wise, that's 2 ticks away. That one's reasonable. So that trade was okay. This trade, the sell at 20.5, way earlier on. I did the right thing there too. So I did that. So those two were dumb. This sell in the E-mini was, I thought that I did a good job there because I caught it. I saw what it was doing and I got out, right? In this one, I was wrong and it happens, and it was worse. That's why I wish this one was more and this one was less, but they're both below 50, so that's okay because I want to get like lose 50 and win hundreds. Now, it actually went down there again. So I should have just put an order down in there because I want it at like right there. But I don't think I'm gonna get it. But anyways, like the whole point is, I've never traded in the afternoon, but could this type of day, since it's really slow, yield more opportunities after lunch? So one thing is, I think that there might be an opportunity in the next hour. Because you're going to get the London traders are going to want to get out of positions. And when you look at the overnight action, from here, I'm sure that a lot of London traders went short. And when we came in, remember, the biggest volume spikes at the beginning were short. So I would think that there are still a lot of London traders with positions on of some sort. I would think that they were probably net short, but given this whole bubble up move and everything, they might have gotten out. So you could definitely play on people closing positions, right? So same thing in the E-mini, but it kind of depends on where we're going. And I've never watched it on the close, but I do know that you can play people closing their positions on the close of the E-mini last 30 minutes or so and make pretty good money doing that. So
This Moody's report that says embarking on policy tightening, if we like to do so in 2019, higher policy rates will drive further.
the,
Full piece of that article that has actually been out for a few hours now.
but I think generally overall it's going to probably continue to be range bound in treasuries. In the E-mini, we'll see what it does. I kind of feel, I mean, I know that this is like conspiracy theory crazy kind of stuff, but I really think that, how do I present this to you guys? Okay, traders on the floor live in New York, okay? They're liberals. They're liberals. And they see Donald Trump say, oh, the economy is so great. They sell it just to spite him. I would not be one bit surprised if that move down was just to spite Donald Trump. So if that's what it was and it's not going, we might come back. I wouldn't be surprised if we make new highs today in the E-mini, but I wouldn't be making any bets either. So it's just kind of like before, like this is a range bound. These are the days that screw me over. So to come out and after all of that only be down 2 ticks that's okay. I took way too many trades, but to only be down 2 ticks and like the whole thing, I could still trade because I didn't have 3 losses in the treasuries, but we're like in this profile, so I would need to see it come back down a little bit to be wanting to go long. Like, that's kind of hard to say. If it came back to 20, definitely you could take a fade, especially if you start to see something in the DOM. Here was a good short, by the way. It's interesting. I wonder why I didn't read it that way. Well, actually, I did. I did read it that way because I said it might come back. I'll sell at 22 and buy it back at 21.5. I did the right thing. Ah, okay. But I didn't notice that it was doing that. And that would have made me more confident. Well, that's interesting overall. So, where is it? So I want to show you guys one other thing here. And that's the Bitcoins. Oh, the Bitcoins. 10th. Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay, look at this. Okay, so oh, I can do text now, can't I? Where's my text? Yes, text. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and then these right here, I'm gonna say 4 and 5. Okay, with me so far? Now, same thing over here. this is 1. Technically, you could maybe say this is 1, but definitely this whole thing around here 2, and then yeah, this one right here 3, and then you get 4, 5. Well, so it doesn't match exactly up, but can you see how it's kind of doing the same thing? So then if I get the pen here, you get this consolidation in value here before it falls and goes through, right? And what are you getting right now? This consolidation in value. And the way that the price action is going, I think that we could finally come down. Well, we are at 150. So if this is where they could break. Since this 150 level seems to be where they really like to, at least lately. I don't know if that makes sense or if you guys even care. But so that's the price action, or sorry, that's the value, and then Bitcoin. I'm sorry, GX, yes. So what's happening here on a 6-hour chart? So look at where the big candles are. Okay, sell, sell, sell. Recovery, sell. Now there's some buys. Sell, buys, sell.
On Twitter again at the moment.
Buy, sell.
Plus 4% GDP is talking really about past glory. Is anything else? He would need a magic wand. President Trump would need a magic wand to get 4% GDP. President Obama, he was quoted as saying, "Yes, I have a magic wand. 4.2%, and we will do much better than this." Just begun.
So buy, sell. Okay, there's another one, buy. Okay, that one, the sell wasn't quite so great, but okay. So now then again, sell, and here, where does the buy come in? And it's pathetic. Oh wait, I don't even have the. We need to add something on here. Where is it? Volume. We need volume, right? Ah, okay. So now you can see them with the volume. Okay, so here, where's your buy? Like, look at the volume. It's pathetic. So what is my read from that? Oh yeah, and by the way, this I'd have to go back a lot further. I'd have to go on like a daily chart to see where I got that from. Anyways, there was a single print right here that I was basing it off of. Okay, so it breached a little bit and then it came off. So my reading of this is that sellers are almost in complete control of Bitcoin right now, and this is all just messing around to get some fuel to be able to push lower. I think that there's still too many people in. I don't think this is gonna hold. I think it's gonna go. You got this line here. Actually, let's do it with the line tool. You got this. You kind of got this line here, right? This sort of a thing. It's consolidating to go lower, I think. So, reason why I'm pointing this out at the end is because I think that the drop could be coming. and we would probably come down to like this 3,500 area. 30,000, 3,500, but somewhere between there, right? And if it does it, it could be very, very quick. So make sure you have everything ready, right?
10-year dollar-denominated bond that's going to get some notice here. The Inter-American Development Bank (IADB) marking a 10-year benchmark at 13 basis points. It swaps first supranational to test investment at the long end of the US dollar market since the start of the year, writes IFR.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it never did it. That's interesting. I was gonna say that you could probably buy the 10-year off of the zipper setup here, but it's not. I didn't quite do it. So whatever. All right, I'm gonna post the notes here if you have any questions about everything I just said. I could watch the 3 Lord of the Ring extended versions and come back in this market will be at the same levels. Probably, if that's what you're gonna do today. So yeah, if you guys have any comments on any of that, just step them in here and I'm gonna post the notes here. Go silent for a bit.
Just note with the energy markets under a bit of pressure. You see in NHC, it's Florence rapidly strengthening into a major hurry. Yeah, I'm not sure it should affect anything. The markets, just to be aware, Labour Union voted at the TUC in Manchester to oppose a Brexit deal if it doesn't protect work. Like new said, how much of effects that would have, we'd have to see.
Maybe go do some more yard work. That's probably a good idea.
$1 at the 37.22. Paper pays.
This resistance level in the 5-year, or sorry, in the 10-year, and then in the 5-year looks awfully strong. So I don't know if they're going to break out to the upside today or not. It could happen. I mean, there's certainly the chance that the E-mini could decide to take a dive or something, but it kind of just looks like consolidation to me, so probably not worth playing. Certainly, you know, as long as it stays in this range and it stays range bound, you wouldn't want to play, right? So, yeah. I will see you guys tomorrow.